everyone. I am here with Odin from Odin Makes. And as he says, he is Odin, and this is what he makes. This is all handmade prop work, costume work. It is really impressive. He has a YouTube show, and we are going to talk about how he got started and how he does what he does. So, first question.
Sure.
How did you get started making all this amazing stuff?
I've been making stuff forever. I was doomed with a pair of creative parents, right? I got a dad that was an engineer and an inventor, and my mom was like, oh yeah, we can make that. So, I just loved costumes. I loved monsters. Godzilla was a huge thing. So was Planet of the Apes. So I just wanted to do all sorts of costumes when I was younger, and it just never stopped. High school became a lot of horror movie effects, and then I kind of came back around to doing this stuff because it's cleaner.
Yeah, YouTube will start cutting your monetization if you start making, Leatherface masks.
You're not wrong. What happened to me, I made a machete, right? So I just made a foam machete for Jason. Then I thought, this would be kind of cool if I put a cut in it like Tom Savini does. So you lay the machete across your arm, now it looks like it's cutting you, right? Yeah. Or up against your neck. So I painted fake blood on it. So it does a thing. Yeah, my video gets restricted monetization for depicting self-harm.
Oh my god.
It's like, what? No!
Self-harm isn't a joke, but YouTube censorship is.
Yes.
It's ridiculous. Oh my gosh. That's a huge problem on YouTube. Is just, where do you draw the line on what you get to make? And it limits creativity.
It kind of does. I love making props from video games. I love making props from movies. So what gets requested a lot, especially for video games? Guns. Okay, I can have a paint gun, I can have a spray gun, I can have a glue gun, but I can't have a gun.
Yeah.
That's another one that gets restricted or straight up demonetized.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. TikTok's even worse.
Oh, yes.
Sometimes I'll have like a big goofy prop gun from a sci-fi thing. I once had something demonetized or taken out of the creator program because of a portal gun. I have a store-bought portal gun prop.
Like the Rick and Morty one? Or?
And it got demonetized because of that. Because I said the words portal gun.
Right.
Yeah. The violence, the brutality. That is really cool. Oh my gosh.
It's 3 cheap little flashlights from Harbor Freight Tools.
Oh my gosh.
And this is a bubble one from, like Easter. It's just the end it's a really long green tube. It's just the end of the bubble one.
So that brings my next question. How often are you just looking at some random innocuous item and you go, this is Hellboy's right hand of destruction,
Every time. I'm constantly going to like Home Depot or other big box hardware stores. And what I'm looking for is shapes. I'm not looking for the thing, right? But all the time I'll pick up stuff and does it fit on my head, or, oh, hey, that's a really cool piece over here, and I'll throw away the rest of it. Yeah. All the time. Actually, getting back to that, I needed a specific shape for the handle, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And this is a dollar store whisk.
Okay.
So just cut off all the rest of it and added a little bit of putty to it to make it fit to the PVC pipe. But this whole shape is just a dollar store whisk.
That's really cool. And now, most of this stuff, though, is EVA foam, correct?
Most of it is EVA foam.
So, you have stuff that, looks like metal. You have stuff that's designed to look like hair. Are there different techniques to molding? Okay, I know I'm making a metal helmet versus I'm making this hair. How do I mold it to make it look like that? Are you using different, I don't know how to word techniques? I hate repeating words in the same question.
You're getting there.
Techniques,
when I build something, I think of a shape, right? So I'm usually building a shape. And so whether I'm building a metal Mandalorian mask or I'm making the Super Saiyan hair, it's triangles or a dome. And the foam kind of goes together the same way. But for the dome, you want a really smooth finish when you're done, which is actually kind of hard. And the Super Saiyan hair is a lot of working with a rotary tool to put all those hair lines into it. And then the painting is what makes it, oh, that's metal versus, oh, that's hair, or it's a starfish or whatever. The actual molding, basically you cut out little triangle pieces or little banana pieces and then glue them together. And as you glue the seams together, it pulls it into the shape you want. Okay. It's kind of complicated to think about, but once you get used to doing it, it's not so hard. Yeah. So that process isn't much different, where I'm just taking a piece of foam, putting contact cement on the edges and gluing it together. And then the next piece pulls it down a little bit. So kind of looking at a soccer ball. It's all hexagons and pentagons at a soccer ball. So if you were to cut them all out and glue the edges together, you would get that shape if you cut them right.
Yeah. The one thing that I tried making out of EVA foam was a plumb bob from The Sims.
Okay.
My wife is a huge Sims 4 player, and I got a pair of Mickey ears for her from Disneyland.
Okay.
To make a
do the
Sims
thing.
plumb bob thing.
Yeah.
I went through so many iterations. I eventually ended up printing out a paper plumb bob template that you cut out of a just piece of 8.5 by 11 paper and then fold like origami.
Yep.
Well, it's got cuttings, so it's not origami. And I just did it with foam. I just traced it and did it with foam.
Totally.
And ended up working kind of, but it's
sounds like you used Pepakura. There's a thing, I think it's called Pepakura if I'm pronouncing it right, where you print something out, cut it out, glue it together, and it's all done with paper.
Yeah.
And those patterns totally work for foam, but usually because paper doesn't have the ability to do a compound curve the way foam does, there's a lot more little cuts and things, more polygons.
Yeah. I had to score the inside to make sure the edges actually came flat. But it is difficult, and I am so impressed by, you got straight lines, you got curves, you got rivets, you got grates.
Thank you.
Just on this thing alone.
Right.
it's insane. And, I'm curious, what is your favorite thing you've made so far? I know that's hard. I know if I ask your favorite kid.
It's okay. There's different things that I have that's my favorite for different reasons. This one's a lot of fun to wear. Right?
Yeah.
So I really like it, but at the same time, I'll look at different parts of it and wince. I've built the gravity gun from Half-Life 2.
Oh, nice.
Which has got, the main Zen crystal has got like 9 things that I had to put together into an array so the 3 arms could come out.
Yeah.
And then it glues to an asymmetrical thing on the back. So there's a lot of weirdness to figure out on that. Then it all glows. So that was a lot of fun, but it's too delicate to bring to a con.
Yeah.
Another one that is one of my favorites, which is really funny to say, is actually Baron Zemo's mask.
And
it is 2 layers.
Impressive.
It's 2 layers of 2mm foam. And I actually designed and 3D printed the tool to help me get the corduroy texture on it.
I know. It's
and
insane.
There's these little tiny slivers of 2mm EVA foam to get the bump for the seams. And I actually took a pinking tool from, leatherworking in order to get the stitch marks.
That is, it looks like fabric. Obviously I'm holding it here and your brain knows fabric's not rigid, but the texture, and when you actually see it in person, it's really hard to see on camera. I'll get a nice close up of this.
Yeah, please.
This is just gorgeous. And
thank you.
It looks like fabric.
Appreciate it.
It's impressive.
I was super happy with this. And, one of the pattern making techniques, and I learned this from Evil Ted Smith. Highly recommend his channels as well. Go see Evil Ted Smith's videos. He talks about doing patterns out of, duct tape and aluminum foil. So I have a head cast that I did, so I knew it would fit me. Yeah. Wrap that with aluminum foil and then put duct tape over it. And then I was able to draw the lines that I wanted on the 3-dimensional object. When you cut it all up, it lays out in the weird banana shapes, and that's the shapes you got to cut out in order to glue it back together to get this shape.
Yeah, I feel like I see that in other time-lapse series. I see people making it in duct tape and then cutting it out. Seems like a really smart way to do it. That is just everything here is so impressive. I love the Starro masks. Those are so just, you put that on any outfit, instant cosplay.
Oh, exactly. That's what I haven't done yet. I want to do the brain slug from Futurama.
Oh,
same reason.
God.
Any outfit, instant cosplay.
Make it pulsate.
That'd be nice. That'd
probably be real simple. Just a little piston in there that.
Actually, the last thing I made pulsate was, just basically take a balloon with a squeeze bulb. And you
manually.
Yeah, you just make it. And if you don't want to do a squeeze bulb, you can always take like a syringe, even if it's a glue syringe. It doesn't have to have a needle, right? Yeah. And you hook that up to a piston that then pushes the air and pulls the air back just a little bit. And, you can do that actually with a Lego motor. So.
That's really cool. Okay. Last question, because I don't want to take so much more of your time. What is your grail project? What is the thing you have not tackled yet?
That I've not tackled it.
Want to tackle.
That I'm willing to talk about.
You're willing to talk about.
One of the ones we're putting together right now that has been, I love monsters, right? Mm-hmm. So one of the ones we're putting together right now that is taking a while to get going. And I've actually gone as far as, getting a hold of, some toys for reference. And I've now got a 3D scanner to help me figure out I want to make a big full Bowser.
Oh my gosh.
I want to make a big giant, and we're actually going to use a little bit of, It's called minky. It's a really fine little fur that a lot of furry suits use
Okay.
in order to do a lot of the pieces that need to move.
His eyebrows.
Well, that'll be, I think it's called wefting, where you do
Okay.
the eyebrows to get, because I wanted to do a little more of what I usually do.
Okay.
The shell is still going to be foam, like a good portion of the body is still going to be foam, but instead of, Plastidip over the foam itself and then painting it, doing it with a fabric would give it the ability to move in the elbows and it won't crack, right?
Yeah.
So kind of a mixture of things. And so that's what I've been looking forward to. Now I got a whole nother Crayola project that I'm not willing to talk about that I've been thinking about for years.
Wait, so this Bowser, is he going to be like a hardcore, like Smash Brothers, realistic Bowser?
Yeah, that's the one I want. I want the big Smash Brothers, the oversized.
Not the N64 version.
Yeah, no, not necessarily.
That's going to be absolutely sick. I hope I'm at whatever con you premiere that at. 'Cause that, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk about your stuff. Odin Makes on YouTube. If you want to learn how to make stuff like this, he's the guy to teach you. Okay, this is 90% foam. Something you can buy at Hobby Lobby or whatever your preferred craft store is.
Absolutely. Hobby Lobby's got great foam. It's got a high density. It's black, so it's easy to laser cut. And also Blick Art Materials carries HD foam, which also has a very high density. And it's a light gray, so you can actually make pencil marks on it and be able to see it. And I know the guy that created it, Stephen K. Smith. He's a nice guy. But I'm not gonna lie. But one is easier to get a hold of than the other. I know Michaels carries their own brand of foam, and no offense to Michaels, I don't like the texture. It feels like soap.
Shots fired.
Shots fired. Yeah. Get your shit together, Michaels. But there's places online. EVA foam is easy to find. In fact, if you want to start cheap, Harbor Freight Tools has floor mat foam for like $10. And I've got things here that are made out of that.
All right. So check them out on YouTube, Instagram. I'm looking at your table to see if there's any other socials. Okay. YouTube and Instagram. Check them out. Great stuff. Thanks again for being on.
Thank you. It's fun.
It's great.